There is a world of difference between the intellectual precision of chess and the imaginative power of good fantasy games. All the more peculiar then that veteran fantasy game designers of the time, such as Paul Reiche, John Freeman and Anne Westfall, should have pretty much combined the two to produce Archon, the Light and the Dark, for the Commodore 64. Like chess, Archon may be enjoyed by the novice player, and certainly by those who don't even like chess. Even if you've never played this before, don't be put off by the fact that you might not fully understand the strategy to the game, or the rules of either yours or your opponent's moves. There may also be some of you who are put off from this style of game straight away, but haven't realised that there is also a large arcade element involved too. Fret not, in this video we're going to have a retrospective look at this classic and walk through the fundamentals of the game with the hope that you'll get it fired up on your Commodore 64. Buckle up, let's revisit Archon from the Light and the Dark. Oh, and also, I'll add the game's manual in a link on the description of this video if you'd like to use that as a guide too. Archon is played on a board with 9 squares to a side. As in chess, the two opposing sides start the game by occupying the 2 rows of squares on opposite sides. Unlike chess, however, the 2 sides have 2 different sets of attributes. Also, unlike chess, when one piece challenges another, the display changes to a separate battle screen, with the two fight it out in arcade-style combat, where you take control of the action. Either side has a magic user that has the power to cast spells in addition to having what may be considered to be normal fighting abilities, for Archon that is. Characters each have a maximum number of squares on which they can move. Some move on the ground and may not pass through other pieces. Some have the ability to fly over creatures that are in their way. The 2 sides, like the title suggests, represent the opposing forces of light and dark, with the board divided into not only white and black squares, but also, to throw a spanner in the works, a number of squares that change colour as the game progresses. The colour of a square that a creature occupies can affect its combat potential, with a light creature being more difficult to defeat on a lighter coloured square. Each side has 8 different creatures, and each of these has combat characteristics that can affect the game's strategy. Knights and goblins, the pawns of the light and dark respectively, can only fight at close quarters. They can hammer away with their swords and clubs incessantly, but their lifespan is short, and they can inflict only relatively minor damage. A dragon lives longer, throws its fiery breath at a distance, but needs time to stoke up before it can deliver another firebolt. Unicorns can throw energy bolts at a fairly rapid rate and move quickly, but only have an average lifespan. Trolls and golems are slow but powerful, and can take more punishment. Other creatures include banshees, valkyries, archers, jinni, basilisks, manticores, a phoenix, and a shapeshifter, the latter mimicking the attributes of its enemy. Then we come to the magic users, the wizard on the light side and the sorceress on the dark. They both have 7 spells which may only be used once. These include fighting an enemy by summoning an elemental, imprison an opposing piece, healing wounds, resurrecting the dead, or even reversing the flow of time. 5 of the squares on the strategy board are defined as power points, and he or she who occupies all 5 wins, but you can also win if you eliminate all of your opponents. Which strategy you decide to commit to will all depend on the sway of the game at hand. So there we have it. Archon is nothing like chess at all really, when all is said and done, other than the fact that back when I was a kid, it was simply the most addictive strategy game I ever played on my Commodore 64. It will appeal to strategy and arcade players alike, and is probably one of the essential games to own on your Commodore 64. So once again, I give this a big thumbs up. An honourable mention over on a rival machine brings me much nostalgia too, when it comes to strategy type games, as my best friend at the time never had Archon, but he did have Chaos, the Battle of the Wizards, and I'd love playing that game too. Even if it's a bit off topic, I thought I'd mention it. I'd also recommend playing this too, but I think it was only released on the Specky. Anyway, another classic covered for the Commodore 64, and I really hope you enjoyed the game Archon from the Light and the Dark. Thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe and all that good stuff. I'd also be really interested in getting your feedback, as I'd love to know if there were many out there that played Archon and what your thoughts were about the game. If you're enjoying the nostalgia, then do be sure to stick around and check out the playlist for more classic titles, but more importantly, thanks once again for your continued support. Hopefully, I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, bye for now.
Are you